Hi, this is Kevin Kraut. I am Ogden Kraut's son. He was a fundamentalist Mormon. He was actually, my father was up to be a general authority a few times. He knew a lot about different early Mormonism. He exposed a lot of early Mormon doctrine that's been buried under the carpet. Obviously he wrote 60-something books on early Mormonism. You can go to the website ogdenkraut.com. It's an introductory, tells a little bit about him, tells a little bit about the books that he wrote, and some of the reasons why the fundamentalist people, these are the polygamists, the not always polygamists, but people who kind of melted back to or went back to the early origins of Mormonism instead of what's going on today. Most fundamentalist people feel that because of the pressures of the U.S. government in 1890, that there's been a structural change, there's been all kinds of changes. Dad wrote a book called The 95 Thesis. It's 95 things that have changed in the church through many times over all the different religious-based things that have changed in doctrinal revisions, if you will, to become more like the world, basically, rather than the divine nature of what we were in the beginning. Now, I have a son, and he and I were talking one day, and he sees things kind of clearly. And one day I was describing to him about the fundamentalist groups, how they've all splintered off from each other, and you know, this guy went this way, and this guy went this way. And in the beginning, there was what they called the Grand Council. This Grand Council was 7 actual members, or 7 70s that were all set apart. They were kind of separate from the church. They were a little higher grand order of things. And, and as time went by, the government threw most of those men in jail and just wreaked havoc on their lives and their families, and basically tried to destroy, as the same as they did try to destroy in Jesus' day the apostles of that day. And so I asked him, I said, what do you see about all these different groups and the people, you know, the fundamentalist people, and where they're going, what's happening? And he sat there for a minute and he looked up in the sky and he said, oh, Dad, he said, I saw Satan. And I said, you saw Satan? And he said, yeah, I saw Satan, and he scattered the flock. And I stood there for a few minutes and I thought about that, and I thought, man, that's perfect. That's exactly what's happened. Because Satan has dispersed, and that's what he always does, you know, scatters the flock, and then we as a people can't come together, we have disagreements, we don't understand each other, and so Satan has literally scattered the flock. And he's working on all the people today in our world and in our environment. And if we understand that aspect of how we as a people need to get back together, start seeing things that we are alike rather than what we are not alike, I think that'll be a better source for our people.